Back to the Future Part 3. Welcome to WoW Recapped. Today we'll show you a 1990 American science fiction film titled Back to the Future 3. Stranded in 1955 after a freak burst of lightning, Marty must travel to 1885 to rescue Doc Brown from a premature end. It's now all up to Marty to get them out of the Wild West and back to the future. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. This movie starts where Part 2 left in 1955. Marty witnesses the disappearance of Doc with his time machine. After learning that the Doc is in the past, 1885, Marty rushes to the Doc of 1955, who faints after seeing him. Doc is shocked, saying that he just sent him to the future. At first, Doc thinks that he's hallucinating, but it turns out to be reality. Marty explains that he came in 1955 to recover the sports almanac from Biff to save the future. Both of them read the Doc's letter from 1885, in which he wrote that Doc has already repaired the time machine for Marty so he could return to 1985. The time machine is in the Delgado gold mine. He even instructs Marty to find the time machine and take it to the future alone, as he wants to stay in 1885. Later, Doc and Marty go to the abandoned Delgado gold mine and use dynamite to blast their way in. The time machine isn't in good condition. The tires are decayed and the gas tank is empty. But luckily, they found the repair instructions, which would allow the Doc from 1955 to build a replacement unit. However, they're about to leave, but suddenly Marty sees the tombstone with Doc's name on it. He discovers that Doc will be killed by Biff Tannen's grandfather, Buford Tannen, 6 days after writing the letter. He killed Doc over a matter of $80. The tombstone also declares that it was erected in eternal memory by his beloved Clara. Doc and Marty don't know who she is. They go to the local archives to find more information about Buford Tannen. They learn that he's also known as Mad Dog and has killed many people. Marty decides to go to the past to save Doc from Buford. Doc repairs the time machine and gives Marty a cowboy outfit. After reaching 1885, Marty finds himself being chased by a group of Indians who are followed by cavalrymen. Marty drives the time machine over a rocky terrain, which causes the car's fuel lines to be reared in the process. He then finds a safe cave to hide the time machine, but unfortunately, that cave belongs to a bear. Chased by the bear, Marty falls from a cliff and is knocked out. He's saved by his great-great-grandparents, Seamus McFly and Maggie McFly, who allow him to stay for the night. At dinner, Marty asks about a local blacksmith, and Seamus offers his help. The next morning, Marty arrives at the Palace Saloon, but unfortunately runs into Buford and his gang, who are looking for his great-great-grandfather. Marty calls him by his nickname, Mad Dog, which Buford hates, so he runs behind Marty and catches him. His gang lassos him and drags him through the town and decides to hang Marty, but Doc saves him. Buford is now really angry with Doc and asks him to pay $80 as he's unhappy with the showing job Doc did. Doc refuses as Buford never paid him. Soon Marty realizes that this is the matter due to which Doc will die. Once they get back to his shop, Marty tells Doc about his death. Learning about his fate, Doc agrees to go with him in the future, 1985. But with gasoline, the time machine can't reach the speed of 88 miles per hour. They even tied the time machine with horses but couldn't get it to that speed. But then Doc proposes the idea of using a steam locomotive to push the time machine at the speed of 88 miles per hour. They talk to an engineer to see if a steam engine can run at a speed of 88 miles per hour. In some conditions, yes, a steam engine can run at that speed. Doc then finds that the next train will come on Monday at 8 a.m. As they were leaving, Doc saw a young woman crying on a runway buckboard wagon. Doc saves her from falling into the ravine and discovers that she's the town's new school teacher, Clara Clayton. They fall in love at first sight. Well, it shocks both Marty and Doc as she's Clara Clayton. Doc mentions how Clara Clayton was at the bottom of Clayton's Ravine. Marty remembers the history of Clayton Ravine, which was named after a school teacher who fell in there. Doc curses himself for inventing the time machine, as they once again changed history. The next day, Doc fixes the time machine with the standard railroad wheels. He plans to leave the time machine on the track on Sunday night and hijack the train. Suddenly, Clara appears and asks Doc to repair her telescope. Doc says that he'll fix it by the day of the town festival. At a town festival, the clock tower is activated, and many people are taking photos with it. Marty and Doc decide to go there as it's played a major role in their journey. Buford arrives at the festival and asks Clara to dance with him, otherwise he'll kill Doc. Clara's dancing with Buford but suddenly kicks him. Furious, Buford knocks her on the ground, but Doc yells and asks him to stop. Buford then tries to shoot Doc, but Marty thwarts him. Marty is then challenged by Buford to a showdown in 2 days, to which he agrees. Marty asks him to meet him at 8 in the morning because at that time they would escape. Doc and Clara are watching the stars talk about their favorite author. Doc and Marty go out walking the next morning and discover that the tombstone and date are still apparent in the photograph, but there's no inscription on who's buried. Soon they both deduce that now it could be Marty, as he'll fight against Buford. Later that evening, Doc tells Marty that he wants to stay with Clara, but Marty tells him that it could ruin the space-time continuum. So Doc decides to pay his last visit to Clara to end their relationship. Clara feels insulted, so Doc tells her everything about the future, but she doesn't believe it. Doc is heartbroken and goes to the saloon to drink whiskey. A salesman sees Doc, and their discussions include the word future. Doc then begins to preach to him about what the future will bring. In the morning, Marty finds Doc nowhere and starts searching for him. He finds Doc at the saloon with his whiskey still untouched. But Doc passes out after having one shot and eventually revives, but is taken hostage by Buford's gang. Marty ends up driving into the building next door. Buford then forces Marty to come, otherwise they'll kill Doc. Meanwhile, on the train, Clara discovers how heartbroken Doc is from the 2 men who were talking about the future stories of Doc. Realizing that he was right, she pulls the emergency brake cord and runs back to the town and finds the model of the time machine at his shop. Meanwhile, Marty and Buford get in the position for the duel, but Marty drops his weapon. Buford shoots Marty in the chest. Marty fools Buford into believing that he was fatally shot. As Buford sees no blood, so he shoots again. It's then revealed that Marty is wearing a protecting shield and knocks Buford into a wagon of manure. Buford is then arrested for his earlier robbery. Doc and Marty steal a locomotive, and with the help of it, they push the time machine along the spur line. Doc then pulls out some colored logs, which will help them push the train to the desired speed they need. Marty sits in the time machine, and Doc is hanging on the train, who starts moving toward the train. Clara then catches up to the train and manages to board it. Doc decides to take Clara to the future and asks her to climb to him. But before they can reach each other, the final log explodes, which causes Clara to almost fall from the train. Seeing this, Marty passes his hoverboard to Doc, which he uses to carry Clara. Marty hits 88 miles per hour and vanishes as the locomotive falls from the bridge. Marty arrives alone in 1985 and jumps from the time machine just before a freight train destroys it. However, Marty finds the flux capacitor and the time circuits, which give a small flash before falling silent. Marty reaches his home, where everything's back to normal. His parents are in perfect shape and successful, and Biff is working under his father. He reunites with Jennifer and declines a street race with Douglas Needles, which will avoid his future accident. Jennifer sees the fax message from 2015, where the text regarding Marty's firing disappears. Marty and Jennifer examine the broken time machine. Suddenly, a steam locomotive appears, which is being operated by Doc. Doc introduces his family to Marty and gives him a photo of them standing next to the clock tower in 1885. Doc and his family then bid farewell and fly off in the locomotive to an unknown time. The end. That's all for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. We'll surely come back with another exciting movie.